Hey, welcome to Don't Panic PPC. I'm Thuha, and with me, as always, are Meriem and Veronica, three PPC pros having the conversations we wish someone had with us earlier. Whether you're deep in Google Ads or just trying to make sense of a chaotic account, this is your show. Grab a coffee and let's talk.
Hi, and welcome to Don't Panic PPC. Today, we are going to talk about the top 50 influencers in PPC. We're going to touch on awards and other ways to get visibility when you're not posting lots of things on LinkedIn and everywhere else. And we're going to have a little touch on Brighton SEO and how that went as well. Where shall we begin?
Oh, actually, could we talk about Brighton SEO? Because I feel like I haven't spoken to you guys since then. Like, it's been a while because of the beginning of the month. So how was Brighton SEO for you guys? I was exhausted after.
Can we first off make super clear? Meriem was there as a speaker. So well done, Meriem. You did amazingly well. Your talk about feeds, about merchant feeds was awesome. I think everyone left super happy with a lot of actions. And the talk was
You smashed it. Yeah, you smashed it.
Super fun. So very well done, Meriem.
Yeah. You
how did you
smashed
feel?
it. Yeah.
It was fun. It was really, honestly, being one of the last talks on a Friday was probably the worst bit about it, because I just couldn't concentrate on any of the other talks. And every time I was sat in one of those talks, all I had in my head was, is mine going to flow like that? Oh, that didn't really flow there. I wonder whether I need to fix something here, or, oh, I need to think about this. And that's all which was going in my head whilst I was watching other people talk. And I felt so bad that I barely went to any talks. But I now have the recordings, and I plan to spend a couple of days next week to go through and actually watch all the talks which I missed, which I'm really sad about. But I know that you both did get to go to talks. How did you find it? What did you think?
So I saw most of the ones at PPC Hero, which I didn't realise this, but PPC Hero is only in the first Brighton SEO, but the one in September, October time, that's what is it? The analytics one. I can't remember what they call it.
Measure Fest.
Measure Fest, that's it. Yes, so I thought very, very relevant. And I was very lucky. I saw my friend Aggie, and she presented her framework to meta ads, which she's trademarked. Really good presentation. And I actually took a screenshot of one of her slides where she had lots of ads, and she got us to guess which of the ads were best performing. And obviously it's the one where you think it wouldn't pass brand guidelines and your clients and what have you, that performed the best. So I took a screenshot of that. So when I was debriefing with my other friends after the talks, I showed the screenshots to them. I said, "Oh, look, which one would you choose?" So it was like a little game. So that was fun. I also got to see, I think her name was Emily, and that was her first time speaking, but you would not know that it was her first time speaking. She was so good, very funny, very engaging. And yeah, so I think also I don't normally go and see the keynote speaker, but I did enjoy the keynote speaker this time. It was Dr. Pete. Can't remember his surname, but he's from Moz, and he used a bit of maths in it, so it spoke to the geek in me. But yeah, that's my overall take. But I do actually have a blog on PPC Hero about it, so people should go read that. But anyway, yeah, that's me.
Veronica, what about you?
Kind of similar scenario, really. I just went through the majority of the PPC Hero talks. I'm very bad, and I cannot remember names, but I remember the topics. The ones that I really enjoyed were the ones about kind of similar to about the latest in Meta and Andromeda, really. So the ones that were talking about the new madness that we have there, and yeah, how to how to create all of these diversity of ads and which ones do you think are going to perform, which ones aren't, how to structure based on ad creatives. I think they were my favorite ones, really, because I found it very, very relevant to what I'm doing at the moment. And then, obviously Meriem. And to be honest, the other two colleagues that were talking with you, they were also very relevant. I did find those
they were very
talks
good.
also very, very good.
I really enjoyed their thoughts.
So I think between those two talks about Meta and Andromeda and the 3 talks I saw, with yours included, were my favorite. I cannot remember the names. I'm terrible with names. Meriem, do you remember by any chance? Was John one of them?
It was Phil and John. Yes. So John's talk, he was supposed to, so you had Phil first. He had lots of GIFs throughout his slides. I did feel like the GIF game was lacking. Like, I don't know whether me, Phil and John actually just put all the GIFs from the whole of PPC Hero, and kind of because we had so many, everybody thought, oh, we won't do that. They obviously didn't know that we had that many GIFs. But I didn't see many this year. I was kind of disappointed that the themes were lacking this year of like fun stuff. I did see a really nice, so the slides weren't fantastic, but there was a really good talk on charity. And the one thing I did learn from that is that click-through rate is no longer a thing, because back in the day you used to have to do over I think it was 5% or up. And now, like, if it's below that, and it's been like that for ages, and they just haven't updated the Google documentation about it,
It's
which
shocking.
was
That's a key thing that everyone
It's
needs to know
huge.
about. But that is a good key takeaway.
Yeah, I did see a lot of pets. I know that John put his dog in his slide, so there were a lot of pets. I don't know whether my cats are upset that I didn't include them in any of my slides. So I apologise wherever my cat just left the room. It's like, yeah, you bitch. So there were lots of pets, but there wasn't, I don't know. Like, did you see many themes or fun things, or did we just go OTT?
Actually, I don't recall any. Do you know what? The only thing I've got in my head is the highlight, probably, and maybe it shouldn't be the highlight, is how Veronica got us into that party after the first night. It was so much fun, and I got to meet Becky, who did a talk the next day, and she was lovely.
It was lovely. And the talk was very insightful as well, wasn't it?
Very insightful.
I did love the insight about how ChatGPT and AI is for all of us like our daily companion, and her data from other demographics were like, some people haven't even touched it. They don't know where it is. And I'm like, wow. That was such a, wow.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind when we are doing all of our targeting, like a lot of things are still very new for a lot of people. And I think the more the technology is coming, the bigger are the differences between generations and between other aspects that before were just limiting a little bit, and now they are creating massive difference between audiences. So that was a very good insight.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it was she was lovely, and it was her birthday the day she actually did the talk, not the night before.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Well, that was the Brighton SEO bit. Let's also. Last time we did one of the podcasts, we spoke about the top 50 PPC influencers. Well, we called them the top PPC people, actually. We didn't actually specify that the title is influencers. And we have looked further into the list, and we've actually looked at the criteria too of what you actually have to do in it. And we were having a chat. We probably talked way too much before we actually started recording about this, because we got a little bit too into it. But one of the things which we discussed last time on the call, how there were less females in the list. But does anybody want to touch on that? Or do you want me to?
It does seem like that there's less females, but actually through the analysis that you ran, seems that the criteria has changed quite a lot. So a lot of females had moved out, and some of them are more, what do we call them? Industry media. Like by the nature of their jobs, they are influencers, as it were. So they were actually put in a list, but further down on the page, so you had to really scroll to the bottom to find them. But they were familiar faces down there. So that accounted for some of the females, but some of the females probably were due to the changes in the criteria that was used and make up that list, which I think Meriem, you're best at going through that.
Yeah, so basically people like Nava Hopkins, who was in the list and has been for the last couple of years, she is now the Microsoft liaison. Ginny Marvin, the Google liaison. I was going to call her the Google Microsoft liaison then. I'm like, that's not right.
She probably does liaise with Nava a lot though.
Well, they used to. I don't know. Is it like, you know, you're not allowed to talk anymore because it's like Google versus Microsoft. It's like she's gone to the dark side.
I'm going to ask next time I speak to Nava.
Coke and Pepsi.
Yeah.
And now Coke and Pepsi, but which one's which?
They have it there.
Oh, the pressure. I personally, nowadays, I quite like Microsoft. I know. Well, no, I understand the limits of Google and the way it's going, but Microsoft, and I know that Microsoft has a very small audience, but I do feel like Microsoft has a lot of potential, and it's because we maximize Google so freaking much and everybody forgets about Microsoft, but I love it sometimes.
I love it to the extent that I'm like, to clients, it's like, I think you really should go on Bing. Oh God, Bing, that's a long time ago. Microsoft ads. Especially with these campaigns that actually work, but don't import it. But maybe that's another podcast topic. Anyway.
Yes, agreed.
I will make notes.
Writing notes. Microsoft versus Google this time next week. That'll be interesting. Or very dangerous. We'll never know. So talking about the top. So what happens when this survey comes out? So there's a PPC survey which comes out every year. It comes out in Q1. And there are 100 people in that list. So you fill out the PPC survey and it's about who's in the it's not about the influencers, it's about the industry as a whole. So salaries, levels of your role, and lots of things. So that survey goes out worldwide and it's up to the people to fill it out. Then secondly, at the end of that survey, you then get a top 100 list. And then you get to vote for the people who you think are the most influential PPC experts. It doesn't mean that these people are the best at PPC in the world. That's not what it is. It's an influence, which means that it's people posting and sharing content and being vocal in the industry.
And I think it's really important to highlight, particularly when we go through, pick out some of those criteria that they've changed, that it is a measure of how they are influencers and not really how good at PPC you are. And so how lovely listeners shouldn't compare themselves to the people on this list.
I think that was exactly what the main message, wasn't it? Like, okay, there are two aspects here. One is being a good PPCer, but that is not what this list is about. It's about how much you are amplifying what other PPCers are doing, what things are happening in the industry. Sorry. And it was very interesting when we were looking at the list to see the job titles of all of these influencers. The majority are founders or company owners. So while likely this is the case, they are overseeing the good work of a lot of PPCers. That doesn't mean that these founders are good at PPC. They are good at having these people with them, having access to all of these insights, and they are very good at being able to amplify those best practices. So that's very good to have a difference there. They're amazing at having that knowledge and amplifying that knowledge. But if the focus is who is a good PPCer, maybe we have to look at somewhere else, because there are other rankings or awards that can give you that insight of who is doing a good PPC job instead of who is very knowledgeable person on PPC. I think that was a key lesson we learned while looking at all of these lists and who is there.
Because what was new on the criteria? 'Cause was it like if you'd written a book? Was that new to get on the list? No.
I think the book's been there for a while. I think the what they've basically done is taken out some key factors, like Anu writes now for SE Land, so she works for them, so they're gone, and obviously your Ginny and your Nava and a few other people who now are only industry faces instead of actually Google Ads faces. The thing which I think you need to keep in mind is they've still got people who own tools who are in the top lists. So, for example, Frederick, who the optimizer team, so he's the co-founder and CEO. He does do a lot of talks about PPC. Does he actively run a PPC account and manage it? No, but he does oversee a massive tool which has a lot of PPC data in, which they analyze and they like to learn and gain insights from, which he shares. Which goes back to Veronica's point about just because you're an influencer doesn't mean that you're the best PPC person to manage accounts in the world. And you could never really sit here and say, these are the criteria to be the best PPC person in the world, because that doesn't work, because everybody has their own ways to do things. And whilst your performance is fantastic on your accounts, it doesn't mean that you can turn around and go into another account and make it fantastic. As we stated in episode 1, the tagline for PPC is it depends, simply because one thing fits that one account, it doesn't mean it's going to on the next one.
And then before we move on to how else we could improve our visibility or prove how if you're a good PPC, or as it were, can I just say I really like your nails, Mimi. I like they actually match your outfits.
Don't look at them too closely though, because they're proper grown out. I need to go and get them done. I've just not had time.
Listeners will only be able to see this on YouTube. But those nails are really nice. So what else can our listeners do to show that they're good PPCers or demonstrate?
Yeah, or demonstrate ways of getting more visibility. If you love doing PPC and you're enjoying it, but you don't want to post on LinkedIn 24/7, you don't want a YouTube channel where you have to sit there and explain things to people and how to do that. I don't do any of that. The key thing which I do is answer questions on communities, which isn't part of anything influential, but that's how I stay on top of my knowledge and keep on my toes. But for everybody else, if you're working agency side, if you're a senior executive, I want more visibility, you can do that through awards. There is a fantastic company, which actually we should share our brand names marginally, not completely, which is called Don't Panic. And Don't Panic do lots of events around the UK and worldwide, and they're specific. So there's paid ads, there's all the others. Search.
Yeah. The agency ads. There's lots of different awards, and then there's different categories within those awards, and they've been going on for absolutely years. And what was really funny is that many years ago, it was on my bucket list. I was like, yeah, I want to be not shortlisted for one of these awards. I haven't quite made that, but I've made it to be like you guys, one of these judges on the search boards. But yes, such words are good. Do we move on talking about our experiences of being a judge? Because that's an interesting topic.
Are you just saying this because my little rant earlier?
It was podcast gold. We should share.
You and your podcast gold.
As a judge, we see lots of entries, and they're all there's a real range of entries as well. So I would say if you're mildly interested in entering, I would say just enter, just even for the experience. But just follow the award criteria, because that's all we're doing as judges. We're judging by the criteria that I've set, and there's some supporting questions in each of the sections as well that will help you score points, as it were. And so I've seen a variety of entries, but my favourites have always been the ones where they're a bit like they've been written like a story, or there's a bit of spark. I don't know how to describe it other than that, but there's a spark to them. But there are people who help others write award entries, aren't there? And you can tell. But I don't think it necessarily scores them down. If anything, it makes the entry easier to read and score.
50-50. Ultimately, I would like to remind everybody that if you do not put yourself forwards for awards, you don't win them. It's that simple. And to gain that visibility within your business or anything else, if you're a senior exec and you're doing some work and you're like, yeah, this performance is fantastic, go and read up about the criteria for some of those awards. Go and read, if you're below 25, go and have a look at the Rising Star Award. You could get your line manager to be your kind of sponsor as such and put you forwards for that. And if you're doing fantastic work, it's not difficult to fill out these award entries. It's just you need to make sure that you take your time, you read the questions, and you put in the information which it's actually asking. And once you've got the basics down, then take it away and go and read it and try and make it into a story, or get support within the business to help you write it. Most agencies out there do have their content team who will go and tweak it. But if you don't put yourself forward, you're never going to win.
One thing that always stopped me from entering was that the cost of it, and
but
even trying
not
to
if you're agency side though, because when you're agency side, you don't pay. This is for us, 400 quid for a freelancer is expensive, but as an agency like iProspect, it's pennies.
Yeah, I suppose. But then I was in-house for quite a lot of my career. And so even getting money for training was quite hard, like pulling teeth. So what I was going to say, though, is the money thing. But then there are super early bird entries. So the earlier you enter, the less you pay. But also, there's probably things out there. You could probably ask ChatGPT to help you write justification as to why you should enter, because even being shortlisted, you'll still get the publicity of it, of being named amongst others, amongst your peers. So there's definitely material there to help you enter those awards.
So I wanted to echo what Meriem was saying about put yourself there, and what Thuha was saying about us having read a big variety of entries, because within those entries, there are very outstanding ones, but sometimes there are very normal ones. And if you have something that you think is good enough, it may happen that is not only good enough, but, and apologies for the language, the bollocks. So put out there, because normally as human beings, we think that we are doing worse than what we are doing, and it may not be the case. So go there, and you may be very well surprised. So yeah, that's my advice for today.
I think that's really good advice. And I'm really sorry, guys, but I've got to go and pick up my children.
So
from
what we'll
school.
do is we will let you drop off quickly because you've got to go, and I will quickly wrap us up now. So thanks everybody for coming by to the podcast today. And I hope that you found it interesting. If you do have any questions or unsure about anything to do with awards or want some advice, feel free to reach out to us, because, you know, you can find us in communities. We are in the Women in Tech SEO community, the PPC chat community, and the one and only Discord community. Okay, it's not the one and only. There are multiple Discord communities, but our community.
We are the cool ones.
Yeah, we're the cool kids. We have emotes and stickers. And Veronica's like, we have stickers? What are stickers?
We love stickers.
Oh, if you only saw what my laptop screen looks like right now after putting on my stickers from Brighton SEO on it. It's so beautiful. But yes, thanks for popping by. I hope you found it of interest. If you have any questions, unsure about anything, please just pop into Don't Panic PPC Discord. You can sign up via the links at the bottom of this.
Never.
And now, because school runs, etc., we will say thank you and goodbye.
Bye.